Hello everyone, let's start with today's lecture. In today's video, I'm going to teach you about the transportation across the plasma membrane. As you have read in last few lectures about the structure of plasma membrane, so by using or reminding those structure, we will learn how and which are the component which helps in transportation across the plasma membrane. So today's topic is transportation across plasma membrane. Fine. So basically there are two kind of transportation. One is passive transportation and other is active transportation. So from now onwards, whichever type we will be discussing for the transportation will come under these two topics. One is passive transportation and other is active transportation. Fine. So the very first difference between these two is here in passive, ATP is not required. ATP, if you remember, adenosine triphosphate, it's an energy molecule or energy currency of the cell. So adenosine triphosphate is not required for such kind of transportation, whereas here ATP is required. Very important. Without ATP, active transportation will not take place. Second one is, you don't need any membrane protein. Membrane protein is not required. Fine. Except in case of facilitated diffusion. Only in case of facilitated diffusion, a membrane protein is required. Otherwise, membrane protein is not required in passive transportation. Here, membrane protein plays a very important role. So here the membrane protein generally called as pump. Fine. And you know pump requires energy. So the proteins which helps in active transportation are called as pump, or you can also call them as carrier. Second, now the next difference is this process is a very slow process and it is a fast process. Here, the movement of particle will take place from higher concentration towards lower concentration. So, higher concentration to lower concentration means, if suppose in one place, so higher concentration to lower concentration, suppose here 40 molecules are there and here 10 molecules are there. So this is at higher end and this is at lower concentration. Fine. So the movement will take place until unless both the system will come into an equilibrium state. So 20 molecule and here also 20 molecule. So till this stage the transportation will keep on carrying until unless they are reaching at the equilibrium state. Here it is against concentration. It means here suppose 40 molecules are there and here 10 molecules. So it will reach up to this position where it is in equilibrium state. And if the molecule is very important for the cell, for the activity or metabolic activity of the cell, it can even come to this stage. So this is lower and this is higher. So this is also called as active transportation, and for this movement you need energy. Fine. Next is the membrane, that is semi-permeable membrane may or may not required. Here semi-permeable membrane is important. Without semi-permeable membrane, the transportation, active transportation will not take place. So, in passive transportation, ATP is required. Here, ATP is not required. Membrane protein may or may not. Here, without membrane protein, ATP or active transportation will be not done. Pump or carrier you can say to the membrane protein which is helping in active transportation. You have read here that in passive transportation, ATP is not required, there ATP is required. Membrane protein may or may not be required. Here it is very important. In membrane protein, you can call them as pump or carrier. Process can be slow. It is very fast as ATP is required. Higher concentration to lower concentration till it reaches to the equilibrium state. Here it is against concentration, as if the molecule is important, it is even goes from lower to higher concentration, and for this movement ATP will be required. Semi-permeable may or may not required. Here it is important. Without this, the active transportation will not be done. Now, in passive transportation, you will read about osmosis, then diffusion and facilitated diffusion. These are the three processes comes under passive transportation. We are going to learn about each one in our next videos, plus the application of each one, because you should know why osmosis, why diffusion and why facilitated diffusion is important for the cell and what they are doing, what are the important role they are playing in the transportation. In active transportation, we are going to study about the endocytosis, exocytosis. It also comes under the bulk transportation and you need ATP for it. And so the function of sodium potassium pump, the function of only potassium pump, sodium pump and calcium pump. So you are going to study about all these things, all these type of transportation in the active one and how they are helpful for the cell, what they are doing, where they are acting, everything, and what are their application I am going to teach in the next few lectures. As you know, here the membrane protein are not acting properly or they are not that much required. So this process will not be affected by temperature, presence or absence of oxygen or metabolic inhibitor like cyanide. Fine. These are the factors which can affect active transport, as there are many proteins helping in transportation, and in case of passive, they will not affect them, as very less and very few places these proteins are acting. Here in active transportation, they can be affected by metabolic inhibitor, oxygen and temperature. So active transportation will be affected by these factors. So you have read about active and passive transportation, and now in the next few lectures we are discussing about their examples in detail and their application. So till then, take care, keep learning, be safe and goodbye.